Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Amateur Repair Time. This ought to be a really cool video. I know nothing about this thing, but we're going to tear right into it. This is it's upside down. Does it say Webcor? Webcor? We'll see here in a second. You probably already saw by the title. Tape player, reel-to-reel tape deck, and it's a tube amplified tape deck. I don't even remember where I picked this thing up, but it's ultra cool. I would guess 50s, probably mid 50s. It's in a nice case, got a nice lid on it. How cool is that? And it's heavy. I mean, holy crap. Probably weighs 30 pounds. Let me turn around so we can look at the back. Nice healthy fan in there. Webcor, licensed under Armor Patents. Armor Patents. Model number EP2207-1. Serial number 4481. Used only on alternating current at 125 volts. 105 to 125 volts. 60 cycles, 145 watts. So this thing is like over an amp, right? Am I doing the math right? Volts, watts. It's over an amp, folks. Webcor Inc., Chicago, Illinois, US of the A. I have never seen such a thing. I have done one video on my channel here of a reel-to-reel tape deck. I was unfamiliar with them. When I was a kid, we had cassette tapes. We didn't have reel-to-reel players. And I was amazed by the thing, the other one that we messed with. And I have gotten a bunch more reel-to-reel tapes that I want to listen to. I've got some that are private tapes. I've got one that's of a funeral, and I really want to listen to it. It's a funeral from like the 60s or something, or the 50s. And I just think that's interesting. You know, that's somebody kept that, and it's a moment in time. There may only be one recording of that, and I got it in the room over there. You know, I've got a tape of it. So it'd be interesting to just listen to, and you know, so that the tape meant something. That's how I see it. So I got to get another reel-to-reel tape player working. I've still got the other one, by the way. It's just if I've got like 5 of them, so if I fix one, then the reward is I can listen to some of the reel-to-reel tapes for a while. Warning, do not attempt to defeat the interlock. It is provided for your safety. To replace tubes, remove this panel. All right. So I'm going to lay it down, and we'll pop the top off of it and see what we're working with. Have you ever seen something so beautiful? Look at this thing. Holy crap, they knew how to design stuff back then. Still got paperwork and maybe even warranty cards. Look at this thing. Crazy. I don't remember if I got this at the flea market or if I got it at a thrift store. I don't see a price tag on it, so maybe I didn't get it at the thrift store. Webcor Regent Coronet. Records quarter track stereo and mono tapes. How to record mono tapes. Plug one microphone into input 1 jack D. Check. Turn selector knob L to monitor 1 position. Or maybe that means mon 1 position. Turn selector knob L. Mon 1, Mon 2 stereo. Okay, yeah, mono 1, mono 2 stereo. Set track knob to 4-track. Set counter, select speed. Press latch as knob is turned to record position. Adjust recording level with volume 1 knob. Use instruction handbook. Turn control knob to stop position when recording is completed. Rewind and follow operations above with selector in mono 2. How to play back monaural tapes. Locate the beginning of recording from the counter reading. Turn selector knob to mono 1. Set, how to play them back. Set track knob to 4-track. Select the correct speed. Turn the control knob to play position. Adjust volume 1, bass and treble controls. Turn control knob to stop position after recording has played back. Rewind and repeat operations 1 through 7 with selector knob in mono 2 position to play the second track of the 4-track monaural tape. And then I guess track 3 and 4 are the tape after you flip it over. Only thing is it's missing the take-up reel, I guess, which may have mounted here. Okay. How to record stereo tracks. Plug microphone into the input jacks, D and M. Ooh, fancy-fied. Turn selector L to stereo, set track knob A to 4-track, set counter and select speed, press latch as knob is turned to record position, adjust recording level with volume controls, use master selector switch to attain a balanced input level, turn control knob to stop position when record is complete. Recording is completed. So P, you have to play, record, stop. Woo! Hear the rain. So you can change from forward to reverse. This all feels heavy duty too, folks. I mean, it's like snappy, you know. This is like how the ovens and stuff felt that were made in the 60s, not those cheapo ones we got now. Look at this thing. They chromed the freaking buttons on it. Why? Because they wanted to, that's why. Change speed only when recorder is on. This is nuts. Volume 1, power. Look at that. Smooth as the day it was made. Here, you want to experience it again? Bananas. Channel 1 meter. Channel 2 stereo. There's the meter. Volume 2. Oh, look. So there's the volume 2, but this is volume 1 and power. So it's an on-off. This is just a volume. And by the way, it was about right there, wasn't it? Something like that. Pretty wild. Mono, mono, and stereo. Monitor volume. Treble. And bass. Bananas. Operating instructions. Plug in AC cord and turn on at knob marked power. Thread tape with supply spool on left reel hub. How to play back stereo tapes. Find the beginning of the recording from the counter recording. Turn selector knob L to stereo position. Set track selection knob for 4-track. position A. Now, did we see that? Oh, here we go. Play and record on 4-track, but if you want to play only, you can play a 2-track. So apparently it'll play 2-track tapes as well. I guess they made them. I guess maybe it'll tell me. Select the correct speed, turn Control P to play position, adjust volume 1, volume 2, bass, treble controls to suit. When completed, turn control lever to stop position. So volume 1 and 2, over here it said adjust recording levels with volume controls F and K. So I guess that's just turning up left and right. And I suppose there's speakers built into this thing. Plays back 1/4 and 1/2 track stereophonic or monaural recordings. Again, I'm very unfamiliar with this stuff. When I was a kid, I never heard anything about this. Over the years, I saw them, so I knew they existed, but I never learned how they work or anything. So that's why I'm going through reading all this. How to use synchro track. Plug microphone into input 1 jack. Turn selector knob to stereo position. Set track selector A to 4-track position. Set counter B, select speed. Depress the latch as knob is turned to record position. Okay, yeah, you got to push down that latch and then turn that knob to record, or I guess it won't record, it'll just play. That's actually like a safety thing. So if I do this, okay, we're on play. But I got to hold this down and turn it to make it record. It's hard to even do with one hand. So that you don't accidentally do it, I guess. Turn meter selector to channel 1 position and set recording level with volume 1. Turn control knob to stop position when recording is completed. Rewind tape to beginning of material just recorded. So this is a multi-track, basically. So you could record like a guitar track and then rewind it, switch the channel, put it on stereo, listen to the guitar playing back while you sang over it or something, or play the guitar over it again. And then you'd be in trouble because you didn't bounce it. You only got, well, you can't bounce it. You'd only have the 2 tracks. But still, that's probably how Buddy Holly did it. Turn meter selector to channel 2 position and set recording level with volume 2 controls. Adjust playback level of material previously recorded in steps 1 through 7 using knob F. Playback as stereo recording. Yeah, so they're telling you to record twice. Rewind tape to beginning of material just recorded. Connect microphone to input 2. Yeah, so they're telling you how to, that's pretty cool. I would just, you know, you could do it with any of them, I guess, but they're telling you to do it. To rewind tape rapidly onto supply spool, rotate fast forward rewind control to rewind position. To wind tape rapidly onto the take-up reel, rotate fast forward rewind control to fast forward position. General. Both mono and stereo recordings can be continued by reversing the reels. Pre-recorded 1 4-track stereo and 1 4-track and 1 2-track mono tapes can be continued to be played by reversing reels. Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, not to bore you to death, but I'm going to look in the manual real quick, too, and see if there's anything interesting in there. All right, they're bragging a little bit, and it's pretty cool. Congratulations, you have purchased one of the finest tape recorders ever manufactured by the most famous name in tape recorders, Webcor. Your Webcor Regent Coronet performs many outstanding and entertaining functions. To better understand these functions, and thereby receive more entertainment from your Webcor, we ask you read these operating instructions carefully. We thank you for selecting Webcor. We know you will enjoy it. Look how they Just look how they laid that out. So you're supposed to read from there to there, and then, you know what I mean? That's kind of interesting. Okay, the all-new Webcor Regent Coronet is the greatest advancement in the history of tape recording. Now, do you think they're just blowing smoke? I don't know. The thing is really heavy duty. Hell, it may have been the nicest one you could get at the time. I don't know. You know, I'm ignorant to it. So to me, it looks pretty freaking nice. All of the controls are nice, and they're still turning and stuff after sitting, you know, in storage for probably 50 years. Those who have heard stereophonic sound reproduced from tape agree it is best. Now, it is possible to actually record your own stereo and standard mono tapes and make recording of your own voice while playing back channel 1 via SynchroTrack. It's wonderfully simple to operate. Plays in either horizontal or vertical position. There are hundreds of ways you can enjoy this new Webcor, including stereo playback of 2- and 4-track tapes. Hundreds of ways, people. Hundreds of ways you can enjoy it. But here's what you might want to see. Completely self-contained, records 2- and 4-track stereo tapes, normal voice frequency response at 1 7/8 inches per second, 70 to 7,000 cycles at 3 3/4 of an inch per second, 50 to 15,000 cycles at 7.5 inches per second, 16-watt dual channel amplifier, 8 watts per channel. Wow and flutter less than 0.4% at 7.5 and 3 3/4 inches per second. Signal to noise ratio 45 decibel. 2 wide range speakers, 1 per channel. 7 tubes including preamplifier plus 6 silicon rectifiers. Well, we'll see if I can even fix the thing. 2 handheld special stereo record microphones. 2 handheld special stereo record microphones with ceramic element, impervious to heat and humidity, automatic shutoff. Okay, let me see if I can find a picture of the microphone. I do have a microphone floating around that I'm not sure where it came from. I've got microphones. I mean, that won't be a problem, but I'm wondering if this little cheapo one I've got is what came with it. How to connect 2-section stereo high-fidelity speakers. Oh, look at this. Right on. Look at that. Living that life. Living the Vida Loca. Look at that. He's about it. Where's my microphone? Oh, here's what we're supposed to have for a microphone. I do not have one of those. Interesting. Authorized service agencies. Ooh, I wonder if there's any in the Carolinas. Did it make it to the Carolinas? With the new Webcor slide projector synchronizer, you can make a recorded description of your slides. When used in conjunction with a remote control slide projector, this tape recording can be played and the slides will change automatically. They were doing it up big, weren't they? North Carolina. So here, this will give us an idea of places that existed in North Carolina. I'm in Charlotte. Radio, TV, and Appliance Company, 1300 East 4th Street. Tryon Repair, 3125 Tuckasegee Road. See, that says Tuckasegee Road, but I know that it's Tuckasegee because I'm a local boy. All right, so that's it. I'm going to look both of those places up. One of those, somebody, East 4th Street. I think I mentioned it on a previous video. Where did that happen? Whoa. Somebody told me that they went to a somebody. Okay, yeah, I'm remembering now. There was an antique guy at an auction. I went to pick up something that I had bought. It wasn't this. And we were talking about old tube radios, and he said something about that he was around when they were clearing out a place in Charlotte, and it was full of tubes, and they were just throwing them in the dumpster. And he could have got all of them. There were thousands of them, he said. And I said, where was it? He said, somewhere down off of 4th Street, I believe he said. So he may have been telling me about that place. Okay, South Carolina. I am also in South Carolina. I'm right on the border, if you didn't know. But really, around here at Amateur Repair Time, we're worldwide, people. South Carolina, Owls TV Sales and Service, Sykes Radio Company, Web Radio and TV Service. Okay, so they don't list any of the ones in Rock Hill or anything. Yeah, so these are their little microphones. I don't have one of those. But I'm kind of happy that they don't look like they're much, because that way whatever I use ought to be appropriate. All right, so this is all just more of the same. We know all of this stuff, basically. It tells you everything you really need to know on the box, like usual. I'm just reading some more, just making sure there's nothing special here. How to edit and splice tape, and then record stereo from stereo records played on a Webcor stereo high fidelity. Come on now, you're trying to say that you're high class, and then you go and do that. Come on now. Come on, you're not supposed to. Come on now, people. It don't start with a. It doesn't start. It does not spelled phonograph like that. It's PHONOGRAPH. That's not right. Record stereo from AM/FM stereo radio broadcast from Webcor phonographs equipped with Webcor stereo AM/FM tuners. They must have called their record players phonographs. Okay, folks, so I'm not just going to plug it in. We've got to look inside of it. I want to make sure there's, I want to just look at the amp and everything, and then we're going to bring it up on a Variac slow and just see what's going on. So we're going to have to open it up. Maybe we can see those tubes out of the back like it told us on the panel. Well, now we get what they meant about don't defeat the safety interlock. It's there for your protection. So that unplugs whenever you take the panel off. Tube placement. Here we go. It's got a 6BQ5, a 12AU7, and a 6BQ5 again. I've ran into that setup before, I think. Another 12AU7, three 12AX7s. Two of them can be 7025s. That's straight up jukebox amplifier stuff. So where are they telling me those are? So there's those three with the two transformers and the electrolytics. Here's our speakers. So these are perhaps up there. Well, we're in a conundrum here. It's all original. Original tube. Original tube. Also an original tube. I can't read the other ones, but I would assume. So all the original stuff, I mean, I hate to even swap any of it. You would think that it needs greased or oiled or something. I'm feeling a belt right now that is in, feels like it's in perfect shape. Look at that belt. This thing's gotta be from the 50s. Gotta be. Made in Great Britain. Do these ever have date codes? Hard to say. Well, I think we're going to just bring it up. Yeah, I think we'll just put it on a Variac, bring it up. Oh, so that, yeah, that's where the power cord plugs in. Okay, I got it. Makes sense now. We'll bring it up slow and just see if the thing will power up at all. If it starts going crazy where it's running a lot of amps through it, we'll know that something's shorting and we'll turn it off. Easy peasy, folks. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right. So in the picture, it showed it like that, but the thing is, the handle's on the bottom and it's like in the middle. So the handle is in the middle, but it's one of those nice ones that collapses at the end with the metal. And so I was looking at the picture going, well, how's that work? It's not going to sit straight. It's going to be wobbly. But they kind of knew what they were doing. It doesn't sit straight. It sits tilted back just slightly, and it's nice and solid. It's not wobbly at all. So I guess with just the weight distribution, so it's sitting slightly tilted back. It's just beautiful. What a cool design. I've got one that I think is a nicer one, but it's a newer one, you know. But at this point, I'll bet that was about the nicest one you can get. So we're going to plug it up and turn it on. So the idea is I have it plugged into my amp gauge, amp meter. Now remember, folks, this is amateur repair time, okay? But this is how I do it. Got it plugged into the amp meter, and then I've got it plugged into a Variac. The Variac has a fuse on it. I think it's a 2 amp fuse. So if something starts shorting in that, it's going to start drawing a lot more than 2 amps. And we'll see this needle start pegging and going crazy. So I can turn it off. The Variac's going to let me slowly increase the power. So we're going to start at 20 volts, you know, and just work our way up. And I'm going to go slower than I usually go because I really don't want to screw this thing up. I mean, we're probably going to replace the caps and everything in it anyway, but I want to bring it up slow so that we can watch it. Also, I usually use this on its lowest metering. So it's got 3 separate meters there. One only goes up to an amp, but the watts on the back, what did it say, 145, which is over an amp if we're powering it at 120 volts or whatever we want to give it. So I've got it on the second gauge here, which is going to go, it can go up to 5. It's not perfect because, you know, if it's working at full volume or whatever, I guess it'll only be up to here. So we're not using the whole gauge, but I think it'll probably go over 1 because it's 145 watt. So we can't use that lowest gauge. So I've changed it to the medium gauge. And I've had people say that the meter is sideways and that it won't read right like that. I think that's how this particular one is made. The feet are actually on the bottom of it. And the handle, we're plugged in, so I don't want to get the hell shocked out of me. But the handle is on the side, on that side. So you can't set it on that side. You got the same problem you got here. We'll try it. We'll turn it on and watch the amp gauge and just see if it starts going nuts. We'll shut her down and figure out what's going on. But we're going to go real slow and just make sure no fireworks like that last one. That last one caught on fire right on tape. If you didn't see that, you got to go back and watch my other tape, reel to reel that I did. Okay. Whoa, did you see that? Did you see that? The power's fluctuating. Did you see that? I don't even have it turned on. Let me check some stuff out. I don't know why the power's flickering, but whatever. I hope don't fry nothing. Okay, so I've got it on 0. This is plugged into the wall. 2 amp fuse. It's plugged into the amp meter. The amp meter. This is plugged into the amp meter. So if we turn it on, nothing should happen. because it doesn't have any voltage going to it. Okay, I've just got it on with the volume all the way down. I'm just not going to amplify anything right now anyway because we don't have anything on it. Okay, I'm going to give it just a little bit of juice. And we're watching that middle gauge where it says 0 and then 0.5. And who knows, this thing may have it may have a blown fuse or something in it. We have 15 volts on it and nothing. Nothing. So what we want to see happen, I believe, is we might get up to 1 amp with just the volume on and it not actually playing anything. I don't know. But at 15 volts, we're probably not going to get much. So let's go up a little higher. There we go. So we got a little bit of movement there. And hopefully we're going to reform the capacitors. Now, as I understand it, you're supposed to let it sit for like several minutes to reform them. We're at 25 volts right now. So we're running 25 volts through the caps and just letting it soak in there, and hopefully it'll reform them a little bit. What do you think? I've noticed that on our other ones, whenever we're working on like a tube radio, as you turn it up, as you're turning it up, you get a spike and then it goes back down like we just saw. So but it didn't go crazy. It just went up to maybe 1/4 of an amp. All right, so we're at 25. I don't know if we're waiting long enough or not, but let's try going just a little bit higher and just see. It'll spike a little bit and settle back down probably. All right, now we're at 1/2 amp and we're at 50 volts. We're saying 145. Yeah, look at that. It's kind of dead on the money, isn't it? 145 watts, and we're going to end up at 120 or 125 volts. The wall voltage here is like 126. So that would be just a little bit over 1 amp, and we're at half voltage, and we're at a little less than 1/2 amp. So that's about right. All right, so I'm going to let it just sit like this for like 5 minutes and just watch it, and hopefully that'll reform the caps a little bit. I don't know how long you're supposed to wait, but I'm in no big hurry. All right, it's been holding steady. I'm going to turn up the volume just to see if that changes anything. Again, we're only at 50 volts. Let me turn up the volume just to see if anything changes. No effect. All right, I'm going to turn it back down, and let's give it a little more voltage. Okay, so now we're at 65. I'm going to go a little bit farther. Okay, we're at 70 volts. Ooh, that's rising. Do we like that or do we not like that? What do you think, folks? Is it scaring the hell out of you? We're at 70 volts. So they're rising up a little bit. May have been one of the caps actually literally reforming, you know. Slow and low, that is the tempo. All right, so I'm hearing noise, but it almost sounds like it's coming out of the variac, just because I guess it's running more amperage through it. I will point out that on my tube radios, I don't know that I've ever had one that ran almost an amp. Okay, let me try the volume a little more. Don't hear anything going on with that. We're going back down now, right? A little bit. Oh, I turned it all the way off. Okay, let me turn the voltage back down. I turned it down too far. I'm gonna turn it back on. We're at like 20 volts. I didn't mean to turn it all the way off. I was just trying to turn it down. Yeah, I'm turning it back up near where we had it. Let's get back to where we were, which we are. We're actually a little higher now. I think we're at like 80 volts now. So that where it went up a little bit, was that the tubes warming up? We'll give it a little more. All right, so we're approaching 1 amp. That's that 1 there. Maybe we'll stop there. Okay, we're right on 1. And we are at 85 volts. Okay, the fan just came on the motor behind it. I believe. Yeah. Okay. I figured that would have something to do with when it was spinning tapes. So do we like that or do we not like that? Okay, I'm going to turn up the volume. We're going to leave the voltage where it is. I don't have a microphone or anything on it, and I don't have you might be able to just turn up the monitor volume and well, that might be a good way to test it, right? Maybe we should plug a microphone into it. Well, that sure lowered that right back down when that fan came on. Okay, so I'm going to lower the voltage back down, actually, and then we'll try that again. All right, so we're down to 0. Let's work our way back up to that and see if the fan immediately kicks on or if that was a thermal thing, or I don't know how they have that set up. I hope this isn't boring to you. I'm learning when I do this. Like I don't know how it's all set up, so I'm just watching what happens and trying to learn from it. And then on the next one, I'll know a little more and a little more. Okay, so there's the fan. Whenever you get to like 80 volts, the fan turns on. So we're gonna go up a little higher. we're at 100, but if I remember correctly, it's actually a little higher than the gauge shows. It's like when it says 100, you're at like 110. So let's do the math. 145, if I got up to 120, 145, 25, that's going to be like 1.2 amps. So just a little bit farther is where I should be. About right there maybe. And according to my Variac, we're at 110, but I think that's about 120. No, it says we're at 105. So we're at maybe 115, something like that. But I don't think we have any shorts or anything going on. It's just we're pretty on the money, I think. So the amp draw is a little bit high. You can hear the fan picking up a little bit. It now says 115 here. That's probably more like 125. Now you might say, well, why are you taking up that high? Well, that's what it's going to be if I plug it into the wall without the Variac. So that's probably 1.35 or so, 1.33. That's my final measurement, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, now I don't know if any of it's working. You would think that fan would cause you problems with recording, but I guess it could be completely isolated. All right, I'm gonna try to plug in a microphone and just see if it's amplifying anything. All right, so we've got a Jimi Hendrix situation going on here. Oh, I don't know where the speaker is. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, baby. Might have went up just a little bit. It may have went up just a little bit. I'll take this opportunity to publicly tell you about our new channel. We have a Patreon channel. You know about Patreon, don't you? So down below all of our videos, you know, it doesn't really sound like that. I'm just making my voice sound like it. Let's try messing with the bass. Okay, that's much better. All right. Yeah, we have a Patreon channel now. So down below all of our videos, there's a link to Patreon. If you're inclined to do the Patreon thing, click the link. We're going to keep YouTube exactly the same, so all these kind of videos are going to be on YouTube. But we may take little, you know, like the little part where I just explained how I like to hook up my amp meter and the Veritran, they call it, where I talked about how I like to hook mine up. I might make that a little clip and put it on Patreon. So some of the stuff on Patreon is going to be just little more concise things, because as you know, I'm very long-winded. So these are kind of the long-form videos. And then another thing, we've noticed that some of our stuff here on YouTube, they do not let us play, like records and things. If it plays audio, they make me delete it out of the video, and that's the cool part. That's why we're fixing the record, like that little record player. I was playing some cool records that it wouldn't let me play them. Said they were copyright protected. Or my Silvertone record, that we did a whole series on that. And then when I got done, all I wanted to do was listen to WSM 650 out of Nashville. And so I got it to tune in, and it was playing Johnny Cash. It is the coolest thing ever, but they wouldn't let me put it on YouTube because copyright strike. Guess what? Upload the same video on YouTube, on Patreon, no copyright strike. So some of the little audio things we upload on there, just little clips. If you want to see all of that, if you're interested in that, click the link down below the videos. And it's got the stuff from our other channels as well. So it's got arcade repair stuff, pinball repair stuff, all of that. So go check it out and see what you think. But anyway, this thing's amplifying, people. So should we take it apart and recap all of it? You know, if the coupling capacitors are leaking, and they probably are, but if the coupling capacitors are leaking, it's going to screw up the tubes. Decisions. I'll have to think about it. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll try it, play it a little bit, and then maybe I'll do a separate video where we tear it all apart and recap it. Test the tubes, see if we can actually make it sound better. So this is a mono tape that I got from somewhere. I don't even know if I have anything recorded on stereo, and it's got a bunch of stuff that apparently they taped off of LPs. They're phonographs starting with an F. Okay, so it's going to block like half of this. I'll upload this whole part to our Patreon channel down below if you want to hear it, but it's going to block a bunch of this. So if there's a big cut right here in this part, it's because they took all this out. They kept cutting them off kind of in the middle of the songs. It sounds like the amp's going bad, but it's not. Well, there you go, folks. I don't know how much of that came through, but the thing is still amplifying just fine after who knows how long in storage. I'll see if I can figure out where I got this thing. I may have bought this at a estate sale, but there's no tag on it. You know what though? This little piece of tape was on it. Sometimes that's how they tape their little tag on it from a tag sale. I'll do some research to see if I can figure out where I found it. If I know, I'll put it down in the link below. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we'll do another video on this where we take it apart and rebuild the amp. Maybe change some of the capacitors. There's not a lot of hum or anything though, so I'll probably just leave those electrolytics in the can. You know, that's kind of the tough ones to change. Let's switch into the next song. What we gonna get next? Little Stevie for you. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you want to see that other reel-to-reel video that we did, I'll put it up right here. It's the one that caught on fire. So we'll see you back next week where we'll work through this thing a little bit more, but I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good evening. I'm thrilled.